Climber. What can the mega songwriter of Livin' on a Prayer, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Livin' La Vida Loca, You Give Love a Bad Name, and even the Thong Song have to teach you about songwriting? Turns out, it's a lot. So we're going to dive into songwriting lessons from the legendary Desmond Child today on The Climb. So listen up. Johnny, do that thing.
I love Desmond Child.
Oh, it's so good!
Welcome to The Climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. Man, that's the name of the game, y'all. Life is better with leverage. We should trademark that.
But life is better with leverage.
Better with leverage, right? You want them coming to you. You don't want to have your hat in your hand. And by the way, as ideal as that sounds, that's the only way it works in the new music business. They've got to come to you. They're just not going to take you from nothing into a household name. You gotta get that fire started. Mm-hmm. So you got to start the fire. So Billy Joel was wrong. We did start the fire. That's what we're doing, right? That's a backstream for my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter, who's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. And he's currently got a top 25 in bluegrass. He's got a top 40 on Texas country radio. Like as we speak, he's got number ones in Southern gospel, multiples. Got a top 5 on American country radio with a more than just a song, more than just a top 5 hit song. It's like a songwriter's song with Alan Jackson's Monday Morning Church, which, I mean, just the name is winning before you're spinning, right? Click. What goes on here? But what you don't care about any of that. What do you care about? It's like, what can he do for you? So Brent, it helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then on the regular, he is going to use his leverage to connect you with some pros and create some relationships and get you on your way, get you on that next rung on the ladder. You can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
That's right. And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking
That's a nice hat.
Thank you. Trying out some
I bet you get a free bowl of soup when you get a hat like that, right? Hey, it looks good on you, though. Oh.
I know. I'm trying some songwriting pros, new different hat. Anyway, so this is Johnny. That's right. This is Johnny D. He is breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. Look, if you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production, singular, no S, and there's no S because there is no other Johnny D.
What's up, Mr. All Over the Charts?
Yeah, well, that's fun. That's fun.
You're not one charts. He's on 2 charts at the moment as we speak.
Well, it's fun because I also just had the Foresters, their Southern gospel, Christian group that just released their record. Just came out on last Friday as we were recording this. And I have a song on there, so it's just fun having like irons and different fires and that kind of stuff. So that's part of what I love about being a writer.
By the way. I don't think I've ever said that to you, but I really like how you do that, by the way. Like you're so talented that you're able to effectively stick your finger in a lot of different pies and add value, I mean, country music, Southern gospel, CCM, bluegrass. I mean, what am I missing? Like what else? Like it's ridiculous.
If it's in English, I'll take a crack at it. Right?
Take a whack at it.
I will.
Well, right on. So today we're going to talk about Desmond Child. I mean, one of my favorite songwriters. In your intro, you forgot.
Oh, I didn't forget. There's just no time.
Yeah, there's too many hits.
Time, dude, man.
But oh my God, like the Michael Bolton hits, the Cher hits, the Kiss. I was made for loving you. He was the king of the 8th note bouncy chorus. Man, so freaking stinking good at it. It's ridiculous.
He's like Mr. Anthem and Mr. So a coaching client of mine, or a former coaching client of mine at this point, he sends me books every once in a while. So thank you, Freddie. But he sent me this one autographed, which is fun. But Desmond Child's autobiography, nice. Living on a Prayer, big songs, big life. And so he's got the little, the little thing in there. So that's cool. So I read through it, and because the songs, the back of the book is just like, here's hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. So I was curious to go.
Those are just the ones that are in the top 10 on P1 radio.
Yeah, crazy.
We're just the number ones. Yeah.
So I cracked that sucker open with my highlighter next to me, because I'm like, there's going to be some stuff here. And I think there's some good stuff here that I've been wanting to bring to the C.L.I.M.B audience for a little while now. So I thought now would be a good time to do it. Just go through his side of things and go, what are some lessons that we can glean from this master of the craft? Not only master of the craft, master of the hustle, master of getting it done. Like a hit songwriter. I mean, all the halls of fame that you can be in. So so I'm going to dive into that. I think it'd be fun.
I love it. All right. Well, before we do that, let's get into some quick business here. Join the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook if you haven't done so. Search on groups for the C.L.I.M B community, or go to facebook.com/groups/the C.L.I.M B community. You have to ask to be let in, but we let everybody in unless you look like you're trying to sell siding or roofs or something like that.
Carpet cleaning, and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Like, if you don't have a history, then you'll remain a mystery. Whoa!
That just happened. You did there.
That just happened. So, but anyway, man, come in, man. Ask questions in the feed, and you will get answers. This is a community of your peers, and they're all trying to find their way, just like you're trying to find your way. And you know what? They may have some answers that you could use that'd be very beneficial for you. So make sure that you do that. And we want to hear about your new music when you drop it. Leave that as a comment on New Music Monday. Want to hear about your gigs on Thursday as a comment on Gig Alert. And on Wednesday, for the New Heights section, which we affectionately refer to as Wednesday Wins, we celebrate that on a podcast, yo. So what we got today, Brent?
That's right.
Aside from the fact that you're on multiple charts right now.
Yeah, but this is all about the climbers. So climber, I think it's pronounced Charisse Carver. So sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. She says, my current single, Running Out of Next Times, is on the American Country Music Chart this week and has been nominated for a Josie Music Award for Vocal Event of the Year. Feeling blessed. Nice, Charisse.
Nice.
Yes. Climber Les Downs says, I got invited to play at the Ark Encounter. Excited to be part of this. So that's the they bill as the world's largest Christian music festival. It's at the Ark Encounter up in I think that's up in Kentucky. It's a big life-size recreation of the Ark, and a lot of Christian concerts out there and stuff. So Les got invited to go play that, which is awesome. So congrats, y'all. Keep on climbing.
I love it, man. Well, yeah, congrats to everybody. And I'll add one, because I think if you're in Nashville, you should know about this. We just got a new client with Joe Kelly from CDX Nashville, who's a radio promoter, been around forever. And he is if you're familiar with Whiskey Jam, he is putting together another Whiskey Jam, which is like a showcase, industry hang. You never know who's going to be in the audience, kind of a thing that and they're going to do multiple acts, like 6 acts a night. It's going to be once a month at 3rd and Lindsley, and it's called Big Damn Music Jam. So keep your eyes open for that, because we're going to be doing the digital marketing for that in the beginning here until we can build it into something, which will be fun. But anyway, awesome. Shout out to Joe and the Big Damn Music Jam and his whole team. We're excited to be a part of that. So love it. And this is Bravo, who hasn't been fed yet. He's displeased and wants to wage a complaint wants to speak to the management. I'm sorry, the management's not here.
Bravo, why the long face? I'm hungry.
The management's gone. But okay, so let's get into Desmond Child, dude. I've just had I've been like 1 degree away from Desmond Child my whole friggin' life.
Oh,
it's crazy, but he is like just so good, dude. So friggin' good.
Yeah, he's great.
I love it.
But but not not untouchable. Like he shares some of his stuff here, which I think is fun. So there's a lot of stories in this book. Again, the book is called Desmond Child, Living on a Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life. It's his autobiography. So a lot of his personal and just life story. But then, of course, I was there to highlight the music stuff, what I can glean from it, because I'm always tuned into the WIIFM. what's in it for me? So,
right.
Anyway, so I like he starts off here. Says, my approach is that credit be distributed equally among all participants, in the writing room. Even if someone did nothing but add a few words, change a few notes, or tweak a melody, those additions, changes, or tweaks might be the very thing that sparks the song's success. So I like starting right off. He's talking about equal credit in the writing room, which is, I call it the Nashville way. But
it's the Nashville way.
He's written all over the place, but it's good to hear him say that too.
Can we talk about that for a second? Just for a second,
Johnny.
Because there's a few things to unpack there that are really smart. I mean, first of all, that's the Nashville way. So you don't have people arguing over, because the old adage that whenever 99% of all percentages are made up like on the spot, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody's like, no, I handled like 70% of the lyrics on this, like they're making that up.
Yeah,
and
it's impossible to.
Giving that up is stupid. So what was so brilliant, whoever initially came up with this in Nashville was like, if you're in the room, you got an equal cut of it,
So that's what they say, word for a third.
Yeah. And I will say there are bands. So for you artists out there that are in a band, right? If you're in a band,
yes, Mark Maxwell.
like our friend Mark Maxwell, the usual protocol, the standard protocol, the standard modus operandi is whoever the writers are the ones who get the credit, Lennon McCartney, right? And
Steven
Perry
Tyler,
and Tyler, and Jagger and Richards. I mean, and that's one way to do it, but I always found it fascinating that because I'll tell you this, like this ends up always being a point of contention, right? Like when the success happens, it's a guaranteed point of contention. Okay. And unless you have like so much success that financially you can overcome the contention.
Yeah.
It's going to tear the band apart, right? The very goal that you seek is going to be torn apart because everybody's going to be like, well, how come he makes more money than everybody else,
Yeah.
Because so many people don't understand publishing and stuff like that. But, Van Halen split the publishing 4 ways equally. But it was always Eddie and David Lee Roth that wrote the songs, And so I thought that was interesting because that kept the band together until, they didn't split up. Let's just put it this way. They didn't split up over money issues, And without that, just FYI, I mean, there are people that are, it's possible to become a big star and be on the road and be making $400 a week and, be famous and be huge and be broke
That's right.
at the same time, which is an astonishing dichotomy, right? Like, there's so many bands that were like that. And if it's a situation where like you're the artist or something, then your band is interchangeable. That's one thing.
They're kind of hired guns. I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, they're hired guns. That's one thing. But if it's a band and you're trying to put that across, then it's something to consider because, once you hit that success, there becomes a big difference in who's getting paid what. And if it's not set up correctly, then it can be, people are going to get upset that they're still eating off the buffet and you're at the 5-star restaurant, So I feel like that's just something to pay attention to, like it's common. What's the best way to describe this? I want to tell a story about like when I first helped my boy Kelly set up that studio stuff. He became partners in a studio on Music Row with this team of with the producer and her partner, and this producer just had a huge market share on amateur song demos. So that was the cash flow that kept the lights on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the producer can't engineer, right? And she's very picky about her engineers. And Kelly and her were very simpatico, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, they got the space. So they literally were able to rent the space for the studio for less than what they were paying every month in the different studios that they worked at to do the sessions, right?
Yeah,
so
it
was already like a big win, except for now, instead of like 4 days of, you know, you got a whole month, right? And it's your space. So Kelly and I brought the gear, right? Like half my studio was in there, and Kelly brought his rig and got a really killer board. But and they had an arrangement that was like partner pay, right? So like, you know, Kelly would get a little taste of whatever she got as partner pay. Plus Kelly got paid as an engineer.
Yeah.
Right. And she would get a little taste of what Kelly would bring in, a percentage of what Kelly would bring in as partner pay. And so, you know, Kelly had the gear, she handled the rent, that was the split. But Kelly still gets paid as a professional. Now I told him, I mean, this is just, it's all about, it's more than optics. It's about perception, right? I told Kelly, you need to make sure that they cut 2 different checks, right? Because the partner pay check is apples and apples.
Yeah.
But you're always going to get a bigger check, Kelly, because you're going to get your partner pay plus the engineering money.
Yeah.
So she's going to be looking at is you're getting way more than I'm getting, and this is pissing me off. Why is that? Well, because you're not an engineer. You don't engineer for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the point that she has that feeling, the logic isn't going, you can't, you know, get the crap back in the horse. It's over.
Yeah.
And that became a point of contention. You know what I mean? So it's like, you gotta like just a business lesson there. Think ahead on that. Okay.
Yeah. That's a great thought. Yeah. So that's one thing. Let's see here. He says another thing is, so he's telling the story of when he's writing with Bon Jovi, and so this is early on. So they haven't launched yet, really, you know. So they go in and he was
a big part of those songs on the record they launched on.
Yeah, like Slippery When Wet. Yeah.
Right. So this is the third record he's brought in. Yeah.
Yeah, so he said the session started tentatively. The mood wasn't helped by the buzz of the electric space heater that competed with the gritty hum of white noise emanating from Richie's amp. John paced restlessly. To break the ice,
they're in Richie's mom's basement.
Yeah, in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So he said, to break the ice, I literally pulled a title out of my back pocket, something I had brought along in case things got slow. Initially, John flashed his $1 million smile, threw in the line, shot through the heart, and you're to blame, darling, before the 3 of us shouted out the title, You Give Love a Bad Name. So to me, the lesson in that is, I mean, hey, this goes right along. I love when people are saying the same stuff that I say, right? Because I'm like, yes, good. If I agree with Desmond Child, I'm probably right.
Have that in your back pocket.
Man, it's a potluck. Bring some good dishes. In case things got slow. So he didn't lead with, hey, I got this title. Because I think one thing about writing with an artist, like whether it's Bon Jovi or Bon, whoever, I guess that would be Ricky Martin. But anyway, let them lead. If they have some ideas, if they have something, they're going to be more invested in it, right? But things were kind of slow. It was like not really rocking yet. So he's like, hey, I got this thing, right? So it sounds like he lets the artist kind of lead, and hopefully they got something they want to write, because that's what I want to write as a writer, is what the artist is already invested and fired up about, because you're already winning, right?
Yeah, because you're going to get it on that album.
But that wasn't really there yet. So he's like, hey, I got this title. Oh, what's that? You Give Love a Bad Name. So bring something to the co-writes. Works for Desmond Child.
And you know what? I mean, just the psychology on that, I'm almost for certain that, with the exception of one outside cut on the first record from Bon Jovi, that the first 2 records were all Bon Jovi and Sambora, right? And maybe somebody else in the band had a little something in there, or maybe David Bryan sometimes was on a song or 2, but it was really Bon Jovi and Sambora. So understanding like the situation, right? Like the second record didn't do as well as it should have. And this is a do or die record, which is probably, maybe not, but very likely the only freaking reason that Bon Jovi and Sambora are considering bringing in a third.
Yeah, because he'd already been working with Kiss. Like he'd been working with Kiss, so he had some stuff, cooking. Like he wasn't an unknown at this point.
He wasn't there by accident,
right?
But just anybody, right? Just bringing anybody in because that's uncomfortable, right? It's just you and me, baby. This is what we're doing, And now we're bringing in a third, like that. That doesn't feel. That can be intrusive. That can feel, that can not feel good.
Yeah,
and also they're in the pressure cooker. Like it's got to be this album or nothing. So the way that he came in there with that. Like understanding, like it's one thing to have that little glimmer of possible hope in your back pocket. It's another thing to like know when to bring it out, right? Like, which was so smart because he just thought, okay, let's see how this goes. Because you don't know how you're going to jive with them personality-wise. Maybe everybody's just in a really good mood, and we just hit it off and we go. But he said it was like really slow, and he's noticing. Of course, he's a great storyteller, but if you're having a great time, nobody gives a crap about the buzz coming from Richie's amp.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when it's like, it just, the way that you serve that up and the way he served it up in the book just feels like it's so freaking quiet. All we can focus on is the buzz.
Exactly.
From the amp. So it's like tumbleweeds, nobody knows what to do. It's like, hey, I got an idea. What if we did this? And then everybody's like, John's like, he's like, I got this song, You Give Love a Bad Name. And John's like, shot to the heart and you're to blame. Everybody goes, you give love a bad name.
Right. And they're off to the races, into the bank. And so that's one thing that I've been learning as a writer is like, used to be if I got to write with an artist or a producer, someone like that, it's kind of more up the ladder, or they're kind of the gatekeeper. Like, I do my homework and I'm going to bring in my version of You Give Love a Bad Name. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to bring stuff in. And I used to lead with that because, hey, I'm here. I respect you. Here's some ideas that I think are really good. Here's some starts I think are really good, right? And we'd write them. But what I'm coming around to more is going, you know what? The B idea that they love, that they have on their mind, that they're already invested in, probably has a better chance than my A idea that they maybe aren't quite as emotionally invested in, or may not be. You just don't know because it's like, I don't want to push my story on them. It may
be perceived as a distraction if they're wanting to write this one thing today.
Yeah.
And they're bringing you, like, if that's what's going on in their mind, which you don't know, right? And then you come in, you're like, let's write this. All of a sudden it feels like, man, I really, I don't want to install the plumbing in the bathroom today. I want to put in the deck.
Or kind of fighting for my idea because maybe I think my idea is better. Like, you just do the math on this. This has more hit potential than your idea. It's not really about that because if they aren't really invested in it, they're not going to cut it. So I think, so now I'm much more about what do you want to talk about? What do you want to say? Diving in and let's go with that. And some people, they want me in the room because of what I will bring to the room. They want to know what I have to say. I write with artists who are like, oh my gosh, bring us that Brent goodness. Come on, what you got? We want to hear it. I'm like, okay.
And they probably have like relationships with you at this point, right? It's also not the first write.
Not the first write.
You Give Love a Bad Name was Desmond's first write with Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. So that's another thing. It's like, I think Michael Jordan, to go completely sideways, but exactly it correlates. How do you attribute all your success, man? Like, when you go out and you just dominate, he's like, honestly, I just let the game come to me.
Yeah.
Let the game come to you. Like, go in, especially on those first writes where you're developing a relationship, let the game come to you.
Yeah.
If they're like, I don't have anything today, man, what do you got? You're like, I got gold right here. If they're like, I got something I think we should write, and you're like, let's go, I'm in. Like,
like our friend of the show, Kaylee Bishop, she's been on Song Title Challenge. Great singer, independent artist, but making that climb. And so our mutual friend, Chelsea Stallings, got me in the room with her. So the three of us were writing. First time I met Kaylee, but I listened to her stuff online, and she's just, phenomenal singer, very talented. Good stuff, cool stuff. That's why I wanted to be in that room. And so we got together, and just the place where Kaylee was in, like I brought ideas and stuff, but just where she was emotional and kind of what she needed that day. She's like, can we just write something dumb and stupid and funny? And can we just write this thing? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's nothing she's ever going to.
Therapy sometimes, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And we laughed and we got to hang on, got to vibe off each other, like get to know each other, and play on. And for me, it was kind of low stakes. Yeah. I want to do a good job with it, but I'm like, yeah, this is not something like she's going to cut. Cause it's just kind of silly and dumb, but it helped me get in the room the second time. The second thing we wrote was a song, which is an idea of mine that I brought in called Boy Amen, which you can now stream on any device because she cut it and she killed it. But that's part of going, okay, I'm not like long game. Like if that's what she needs today, I'm not going to be the jerk that makes her like, no, we're going to write a hit today. Because I came all the way over to East Nashville or West Nashville to do this, whatever. No, like, okay, that's what you need. Let's go. I want to be a good hang. I want to be a good vibe. I want you to get back in the room with me. And then the next time wrote the thing that she cut. And so there's a lot of that feeling like the room out.
As songwriters, it's cathartic sometimes, right? Like something's going on with you and you need to get it out.
Yeah.
Right. And this is your therapy. This is how you're going to do it. So you got to respect that from an artist, when they're just like, man, she's had one of those days where I just can't write anything heavy today. Yeah. I can't. I just need to be.
I need to laugh. I need to
laugh. I need to be frivolous. I need to. I need pick me up right now. Probably not in a great mood. Something happened.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just had the blues or something. Who knows? But it's just like, yeah, man, we can write that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I think for me as a writer, it's never about me when I'm in the room with an artist. Right? Yeah. It's not about me. I'm not there to tell my story. I don't care if I've had a stuff.
And the sooner y'all figure that out, the better off you'll be.
Yeah.
It's like being married. It's like
happy co-writer, happy life. But
that's right.
because it doesn't matter if I'm like, oh man, I've had a day. I just need to write something stupid. No, if it's coming from me, no, I'm not going to say that. It's not about me. I'm there to serve, in that case, Kaylee, to try and write her something that she loves. And that's what she needed that day. Well, okay, I'm in the service business. Let's go. And it worked out because we wrote that. And then I think the next time we wrote a song for Chelsea, for her, one of her ideas called Bones that Chelsea cut and is out on streaming. And both those songs are really cool. Nice. And I really like both of them. Like, I think they're well done. So it's like, okay, just operating in the room is a big deal. But you're talking about how they were like John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. He said, this back to Desmond, he said, our productive collaboration almost ended before it started. Their management wanted me to sell my share of the song for $35,000 and remove my name as a co-writer. Basically, they wanted it to be like just John and Richie's names on there, like the Lennon McCartney, like
See what I'm saying? Like that was the thing, man. That was going on in their head. You know?
That was like the management was like, we want this to be like the iconic writer duo. And so I took it directly to John. I didn't mess with the management. I went directly to John, and he said, tell him to back off or you're never going to see me again. He says, to John's everlasting credit, he did the right thing and set it straight. I received a third of the song. So kudos to John Bon Jovi on doing it right.
And that's the management trying to, that's Doc McGee trying to not so much screw Desmond over. It would have done that.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time you got on. At the time, he wasn't Bon Jovi, man. Right. It was like, this was like going to happen one or the other. And he was trying to preserve like some of the lore, some of the
story, right?
The story behind it. Yeah. So, branding. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
And good for John to say, no. We're strong enough to work with other writers and put them on the song. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, anyway, I thought that was super interesting. So you got to stand up for yourself too. Cause sometimes, I mean, the management company was not trying to solve Desmond Child's problems, right? Yeah. He was not their client. Bon Jovi was their client. So they want to say, what's going to give them the most positioned strength? Oh, to be like the songwriting duo, like a Lennon McCartney or whatever. So, anyway.
Jagger and Richards. Yep.
Yep. So here's another one, story about Paul Stanley. And he says there is no Desmond Child without Paul Stanley, who's Kiss, right? one of the guys in the makeup of Kiss. So he was a big mentor. They worked together early on. So he said Paul Stanley explained that each band has its own aesthetic. For Kiss, that meant the song could never come from the point of view of a victim or a loser. It was always about winners, triumphs, victories, positivity. If I came up with a sad vibe, Paul would immediately set me straight. Paul understood the Kiss mandate was to make his diehard fans feel good. Think about that.
Paul
branding.
Understood the brand.
Oh, well, I mean, you talk about Kiss. If there's one thing they understand, it's the brand, right? I mean, come on. A marketing juggernaut. But that's true. Each band has its own aesthetic. Kiss can never come from the place of a victim or a loser.
Yeah.
Always the winner. Always triumphing. And you look at their catalog and go, well, daggum. Yeah. Okay. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
And so as a writer, we need to be aware of that. If we're writing for a band to pitch for them, or we're bringing ideas to write with the band or whatever it is, going, okay, this is that vibe. You know, if it's like, oh, this is a blue collar country guy. Well, I'm not going to have him rolling up in a Lambo in a song to the club in the Lambo. That's not what Luke Bryan does, or that's not what Luke Combs does, or whatever. Knowing the artist brand on what they do and what they don't talk about. You know, almost what their archetype is. So Kiss, there was always victory, winning. It's all that good stuff. Okay, got it. So you know those are the ideas you want to bring in. And so that's super important to know as a writer. Like I said, whether you're pitching, because if you pitch them, I don't know if they ever took any outside songs, but if you pitch Kiss in this case, a downer, no, done. Not a chance. I don't care how good it is. Why? It doesn't fit our brand. Like, you're not going to get Coca-Cola to sell salad. I don't care how tasty that son of a gun is.
Or Pepsi.
It's
you're going to get Coca-Cola to sell Pepsi.
Yeah, it is not what we do.
It's a direct conflict, man.
It is not what we do. We don't sell.
This is so huge for those that first break that you're looking for, man. Because, like, how do you want to be perceived? You know, when we did that Colin Ray record, when Kelly and I did that Colin Ray record, we needed those two songs. I've told the story before in the podcast. You know, we got 250 songs. It just so happened we literally have like one night to go through everything. All 250 songs, to pick 15 to give to Colin so that he can weigh it, whittle it down to 2 and key them. And this was like a Friday night, the downbeat for the only recording session we're going to get with him, because he was touring on a Monday. You know what I mean? So like, it had to happen, man, and everybody, when I put out the Bad Signal, just sent in all their songs. I got so many people that just sent in all their songs without any regard for the brand of Colin Ray. Right. And that's not cheating, not drinking. It's a different,
it's not
his
redneck.
brand. It's more wholesome. Yeah. It's not redneck, man. It's positivity. It's love. It's light. It's that kind of stuff. And so many cheating songs, so many drinking songs. And so you just immediately go in this pile over here because you just wasted my time.
And I will remember that.
You know what I mean? Or I won't.
Well,
I won't remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to remember? The people who sent songs that were appropriate for the brand. And I'm like, wow, even if it didn't make it, even if it wasn't appropriate for this particular project, I'm like, that's a really good song. And you're in this pile over here.
Yeah.
Simply because you took the time to do a little bit of homework and save me time.
Yeah. That's the thing, service business again. And those are going to be the people you reach out to first when there's another opportunity like that, going, okay, I go to those people first. Why? Because they're proving themselves to be a good use of my time. There's a better chance I'm going to find what solves my problem in their stack of stuff than in this stack of stuff where people just send me everything and let you figure it out.
My problem. And that was a huge freaking problem. I was like, do the math on that. We had one night and 250 songs to get through. If you just go through the first minute of that to get to the chorus on each one of those songs, that's over 6.5 hours. And we had a full work day.
Yeah.
So we didn't start doing this. We couldn't start doing this until 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So we were up and getting punchy until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, plowing through to try to do our job.
And so,
and to solve our problem.
When you send in a poorly cast song, you're showing up with the problem.
Yeah.
I got to get through this and get to the next song. This is not helping me solve my problem. If it's on brand, but maybe just not quite good enough, or it's on brand, but just not either something just a little, that's still like, okay, well, that was a fair shot. Like that, not a waste of my time. Not right for this, but it's not wasting my time. If it's like, you've never listened to Colin Ray, you're probably like, Colin Ray? Right?
Yeah.
You had no idea who this guy is.
You just heard there's an opportunity to get a song cut, and you sent everything you ever wrote. Like,
Don't be that writer, okay? Don't be that writer. So, let's see. So, Kiss. Keep it service, stupid. I don't know. All right. Let's see here. What else we got?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it serviceable, stupid. I don't know.
Keep it serviceable.
All right. So he talks about Bob Crew, who says forever changed Desmond's concept of songwriting. Bob said, inspiration is not the point. Perseverance is. Bob was one who taught me to drill down. He wrote songs based on titles and lyrics first. So this is like early in Desmond's career. This is like backing up from the Bon Jovi days. He said, get your story straight and go from there. The story is the foundation. Why open your mouth if you have nothing to say? It's all about the story. He said, before Bob, it was all a matter of banging out something. Anything, mumbling or more like yelping, some improvised melodies, hoping they would start magically morphing into words that I could stitch together into a lyric. After Bob, it was all about clean rhymes, inner rhymes, and alliterations, the nitty-gritty of the craft with an eye toward a cohesive and compelling story. So
I love that.
Yes.
So Bon Jovi makes a point of saying that is the tables turned on for them, for Bon Jovi, largely because of Desmond, right? Because if you listen to the first two records and then you listen to the third record, like it was story songs, right? Like, works the diner all day. I mean, Living on a Prayer is a story song about two people that, that's what a very sort of Springsteen-ish, right? And very,
blue
they
collar
sort of have
anthem,
blue collar thing, and that was very much like their brand, and it was a big deal because there was something more. There was more meat in the lyrics to grab onto and really connect with, And so that was a really, and they, from that moment forward, with or without Desmond, they made a point to write more story songs,
so like,
about
what
that.
are we talking about? Have something to say, right? To have something to say. So fast forwarding here, he tells a story about the song that he delivered it, but there was a Columbia record exec that said he heard no hits. So he delivered like a record. He recorded a record on this artist because he's also a producer. And he turned it in, and Columbia exec said, I don't hear any hits. He goes, I pointed to a song called The Best, a song which I had begged its writer, Holly Knight, to let me produce first on Bonnie. I think it was Bonnie Tyler he was cutting on. Columbia never recorded it, but when Tina Turner covered it a year later, Capitol Records promoted it into the biggest song in the world. You're simply the best. You know that thing? Yeah. So like, boom. He cut it on. So I don't think he wrote it, but he produced it on Tyler. And for me, the takeaway here is sometimes, man, those execs just miss it. You can have what would be in a different artist's hands in a different situation, the biggest song in the freaking world. And so iconic. Just that, you're simply just that part is just like there, right? Everyone knows that. And they just missed it. So what that might mean is don't give up on a song if somebody doesn't hear it.
Because some suit told you something.
Yeah. My favorite stories to share, and I love, every few months I get together with Michael Wagner, one of my heroes, and go out and grab some lunch and just catch up. And he's just like a really good human. And those are the stories that I love to hear. It's like, executives coming in and the stuff that they did, because the executives don't know. And they know that the executives don't know. Yeah. But yet sometimes the team will be right. Like, hey, Johnny Cougar, we really think we need to put out Jack and Diane as a single. That piece of crap? Whatever. So it's just the thing of like, everyone gets a vote, but you're the only one that gets a veto as the creative. It's like, just take it with a grain of salt. If you believe in it, keep working your song. Even if somebody passes or somebody cuts it, but it's not a single and you think it's a hit, like, don't give up. I mean, Matt Lindsay, he's a song plugger friend of mine, publisher, song plugger. And he published a song, Who Are You When I'm Not Looking, which was an album cut for Joe Nichols. And Joe didn't release it as a single, but he believed in it. He thought it'd be a Blake Shelton hit. And he pitched it. He's like, listen, Joe's cut it, but it wasn't a single. And he pitched it and like several times over like course of several years. And they kept saying no, kept passing. He's like, I'm telling you, this is a hit for Blake Shelton. And he's like, all right, fine. I'll play it for Blake or for the producer. But if they pass, I never want to hear the song again. Okay.
Yeah.
That time they didn't pass. It went number 1 for Blake Shelton. So he's like, not giving up on something you believe in. Now, you need to get your picker right, where you're not shoving mediocre songs down people's throats, because that'll get the doors locked on you real fast. Because again, you're not helping solve their problems. You're doing the Colin Ray thing. You're just sending stuff that doesn't work. But if you believe in it, man, don't give up on it. All right, so a little bit more here. Desmond Child says, it takes more than luck to get a cut. It takes strategy. I made a point to meet Victoria Shaw, a smart, fast-talking New York Jewish girl, very much like the kind of high school girl I went with back at Beach High. So not only did we hit it off, we wrote a song recorded by Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. I like to think that it was a song that brought them together, kind of thing, because that was before they got together.
He co-wrote the.
Is where you're. What's it called?
The Vessel, right?
It was a title track of Trisha's. It was Where Your Road Leads. Victoria Shaw wrote The River with Garth.
The River, yeah.
But Desmond and her wrote Where Your Road Leads. Which
I was like, Trisha I didn't know. I thought you were about to tell me Desmond was on The River. I'm like, I didn't even know that.
No, he's not on that one. So this is after The River. But anyway, he said, okay, so there's strategies. Like, let's get I want to write with Victoria. He says, next, I set my sights on Wynonna Judd, the Adele of her time. So she invited me to her home. And it turns out that Ashley Judd came in and there was drama about some situation. So he's like, I just let myself out because it was not going to happen that day. Right. Undaunted, I plotted my next move. I was crazy about Wynonna's big hit, Only Love. And so I was co-written by Marcus Hummin, husband of, Becca Stevens, who led a small Episcopal church on the Vanderbilt University campus in Nashville. So all of a sudden I started going to church regularly, where Marcus sang during communion. Within no time, I talked him into writing a song for me and Wynonna. So with her infant in mind, we wrote the song called The Future in My Arms, drove to Leaper's Fork, where Wynonna lived, and she wept when she heard it. It was a goosebump moment. I'm like, yes. Me and Marcus knew we'd scored, right? But then it turns out she didn't cut it because basically she had a baby out of wedlock, and the song's about a baby. And she's like, I can't. Every time I go to church, people stare at me, because I had a baby out of wedlock. And Desmond's like, they're staring at you because you're Wynonna Judd. And he just walked in,
but she feels tremendous guilt, obviously, for that.
But so it was a well done song with her in mind, but there was this other internal thing going on with her at the time that nixed that particular song, some other stuff that they weren't privy to. Right. But to me, the lesson is, now I'm definitely not recommending you go pick your church based on who goes there. I made a point not to do that when I moved to Nashville, because that was like, I need to keep that real pure, because that is God's turf. I'm not stepping on holy ground that way, going, who can I network with? That's not how I'm picking my church. But the thing is, for him, though, he was thinking, okay, I want to get to Wynonna. Oh, that didn't work out that way. Writing with her just because crazy drama, family stuff going on right then. How's another way to get in? Oh, I love that song Marcus wrote that she cut. Let me get to Marcus Hummin. And how can I meet him? Oh, he hangs out here. Let me get to know him. Of course, Desmond has, big old track record at this point. So it's easier to get in the room. But the points of going, how do I connect these dots? that's my target, Winona. I want a Winona cut. Okay, who's in the orbit? Oh, Marcus Hummond's in the orbit. Let's use that to get in. And they did their job. She didn't cut it, but hey, they wrote a song that made her cry. You got a fair listen. You had a fair shot at it. So I thought that was super interesting. Just talking about the hustle and it doesn't just happen, right? It doesn't just happen to happen.
Based on the strength of the song.
I mean, I'm sure he's had plenty of those, but also like, who do we get it to that can say yes? Who's the big yes? How do we work our way to leverage to make best use of our songwriting strengths? Like, it takes both relationship and the song. The right song and the right relationship is how that happens. You got to get the right song to the right people at the right time. Other thing, let's see here. I don't have time to go into all this, so I definitely recommend the book. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, but we'll get one more here. So he was riding with Bon Jovi with John, and they're up in New Jersey, and the radio was on, and he kept hearing the words, and Desmond kept hearing the words, "Kiss the Rain, Kiss the Rain." And I'm like, man, what a great title. I said, I wish I thought of it. Kiss the Rain. And he goes, John looked at me. He's like, it's glycerine, you moron. Basically, that Bush song, glycerine, that grunge thing. And I was like, well,
that's funny.
Yeah. He goes, oh, well, good. We can write that then. We can write Kiss the Rain. And this is interesting. John says, that's a chick title. Save it for someone else. And so again, with the artist, like it didn't hit him. Like it wasn't. He's like, that's a chick title. That's not going to fit me as an artist. So again, it goes back to what fits the artist. We got to be mindful. He's like, all right. So he ended up hooking up with someone else, this guy named Eric. And my plan was to write Kiss the Rain for Billie Myers, a singer from England with a huge voice and serious style. And I knew she'd kill it. So we wrote almost all of Kiss the Rain in less than 30 minutes. And I suggested we leave the second verse for Billie Myers to write. And well, they did. So Eric and I flew to the UK and met up with Billie Myers at the Halcyon Hotel, where Eric set up a mobile studio in the basement. We wrote the second verse, and she sang a brilliant lead vocal. Kiss the Rain was a smash. All right, so follow this. Okay, so he has his radar up. He's listening to music. He's a fan. He's listening. Here's this. Mishears a title. Oh, okay, that's going in the back pocket, right? No, I don't want to write it. It's the girl title. Okay, who could I write? Who do I want to write this for? I want to write this for this particular female artist. He found his collaborator on it. They wrote the first verse and chorus, and then they could have knocked it out. Nope. Let's get the artist on the second verse. It's a song start. It's happening more and more. It happens all the time in CCM. It's happening more in country. It happens in pop. It's a song start. Let's bring this to her to write with her. They flew to the United Kingdom. They flew to the UK. Okay. So they didn't just wait. Oh, we'll wait for her to come into town. If it works, she lives so far away. No, we're freaking flying there. No, they took steps, big steps, wrote checks to get to the artist, to get where the artist is, to come to her, because they're in the service business and they're going to make this sucker happen. Right. Yes, they can afford trips to overseas flights. Maybe you can't. But the point is the point of, how do I show up in their world? They set up at the hotel, set up the studio. And so they wrote the second verse, and she sang a lead vocal. They got the artist on the song, right? It wasn't just, it's always a bad sign when you're writing a song with an artist and the other co-writer ends up singing the work tape. Never a good sign. Like, oh crap. Because you want the artist to live with it, to sing it, to see how it feels with them, to hear their own voice on it, to get more invested in it, to emotionally invested, And so I've had this too, where if, there's an artist I've been working with some, and one song we wrote was just me, the artist, and another writer. Really cool song. Still don't have a demo of it, but it's like they've been talking about, we need to get a demo on it. Then it was the same three of us plus a writer-producer the next time we wrote. And he was building the track, and we got the artist vocal on it before we left that day. And then he built out the rest of the track. So now we have a demo. We had a demo within a week. Yeah. And this happened a month or two after that first song was written, and we still don't have a demo for the other one. So when it comes time for this artist to record, the one that's going to have a better chance is the one that we actually, I think, have a full demo on for the whole team to hear and get the vibe. And it just makes it easier for them to hear the deal. It's just that much closer to a yes, you know? And so that's something I've been thinking about going, okay, you know, when there's another artist I was writing with too, and it was interesting. I was writing with this duo. Well, I was writing with Two Lane Summer and Michael Wilkes. So I'm going to get Michael on the show sometime. But we're with Two Lane Summer, friend of the show. And so their artist, Michael Wilkes, not Jason Wilkes, the other Wilkes. Michael Wilkes is a writer-producer. And so we're writing over at Peer Music. So he's got his rig in the room. And so he's, you know, he and I talked beforehand, like, hey, I got this title and some lyric I think would be really cool for Two Lane Summer thing. And I sent it to him. He started building a track for it and had some ideas going. So we brought something to the party. They dug it. He's just building the track out as we're writing and we're working on it. And like, as we wrote the chorus, he just handed them mics and they laid down vocal on the chorus on the track.
Nice.
Before we even wrote the verses. Then we wrote the verse.
Now,
while it's fresh on their mind and they're not cluttered with verse melodies or whatever, it's like, oh, this is super cool. Okay, capture it. I mean, he was doing both harmonies, you know, because there's a duo, right? Lead and harmony, boom. We wrote the verse, get that down. Got it. Wrote the second verse, get that down. And so, okay, demo. There are other songs that I've written with them that we haven't gotten the vocal in the room. I got a song with them, God bless them, that I wrote with them and Dustin Bird, friend of the show, that Dustin had the track going. But we didn't get a vocal that day. They had to bounce. Still sitting there without their vocal on it. You know, it's like if you can get that in the room. Now, you don't want to be a complete a-hole and make them hate you and hold them hostage, right? But if you're able to do a track, if you can get that vocal on there, that's just going to, I think, give you a leg up. So that's one thing I've noticed is in my own world that this book here, you know, kind of goes into as well, going, yep, got the vocal in the room while the artist was there because they're hard to pin down afterwards. I mean, you may be like, I sent you the stems. I sent you the track. All you got to do is sing your vocal, send it back. Yeah, I'll get around to it. I'm busy. You know, they're busy. They're freaking busy. Yeah. And you're not the only song they've written that week or the only person they work with. And so then you got to fight to get back to the top of the mind and to get it to happen. If you just get it done right then.
It's so tricky to do it after.
It is. That's one thing I've learned going, okay, that's something I need to build in the room. It's like, how can we build in as much as we can? And that's why a lot of track people and producer writers, I think, are winning because they can just, the speed, the efficiency, getting it done right then. And so that's just something I want y'all to think about. But anyway, the book is Desmond Child, Living on a Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life. I think there's a lot of good songwriting lessons in there. So it was a fun read. So I recommend it. But thank you again to Freddie D for sending that to me. I appreciate it.
Nice. Well, that takes us to the end of another Killer Climb episode, y'all. Make sure you follow the podcast, tell a friend about it, and join the Climb community. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
Who ride a Greyhound?